learning to wrench on your car is rewarding. It can be challenging or frustrating. But you will learn new skills. Make friends along the way. You know, little dude. And find exciting surprises around every corner. Join me now as we arrive at the next stop on the mail truck's route. Alright, to start things off, draining the old oil was super simple. Drain plug exactly where you'd expect it to be. It did, however, take me an embarrassingly long time to find the oil filter. Now, normally on the Iron Duke, the oil filter's right here on the side of the engine. Eventually, though, I figured out that these tubes send the oil over to a filter way off to the side, where it could fit a bigger, more accessible filter. Now, if you've worked on these trucks before, let me know if this was any sort of standard thing the post office did, or if this was just some clever mechanic making their job easier. With that sorted out, I decided to change the differential fluid next. I had no idea how old it might be, and I just kind of felt like it because the diff was completely covered in crud. Now, it's as simple as popping off the cover, cleaning the inside and out with brake cleaner, scraping the old gasket residue off, painting it, and putting it back together with fresh fluid and a fresh gasket. I'd never done this before, but it was pretty simple, with one small warning. I don't know what diff fluid is made of, but it smells just absolutely unholy, and it'll cling to you for the rest of the day. I didn't have a warning. Consider this yours. Replacing the battery was as simple as it could be, and needs a lot less jump starts now that it has a battery actually from this decade, which is good because the side post terminals are already kind of annoying to jump. I replaced the terminal bolts while I was at it too, because they're shiny. The big job here is going to be replacing a lot of the fuel system. The fuel pump is very easy to get to. It's under this hatch in the cargo area. Now this is how easily a new screw can go in. And this is how it goes with the stripped screw rusted in place. Sucks, this sucks, everything sucks. Fuck my life, fuck everything, yeah. Oh, this sucks, everything sucks. I hate everything. Hey, this is kind of cool. Let's do that again. Okay, so it's just the sound of the suction, but it's still a really unnerving sound to be coming from a can of explosive liquid. So if any part of this tank fails under my repeated stabbings, obviously the whole thing needs to be replaced. Now over here, this spot I already painted with a bit of rust converter. This seemed to be the thinnest before, so let's see if we can puncture through here or if it still seems structurally sound. I should also clarify that the tank has been drained of fuel at this point. Don't try this at home, especially with a full fuel tank. Clearly, I'm not going easy on it. If it's going to fail, I want it to fail now, not on the road. Here we have some more surface rust. It looks like will come right off. The worst of the rust seems to be on the straps, which is good because they don't need to be watertight and because the metal's already plenty thick. So the nice thing about pulling the gas tank is once you've got the cover off, it's only these 4 bolts holding the straps on. The reality of it is, these bolts are fairly inconvenient to get to. And they're not bolted directly into the frame either, but they have a nut on the back. We've got to fit this behind onto the nut and against a spot in the chassis where it can rest, provide some opposing torque for us to get our breaker bar on here, and then wrench that to get it off. Actually, I haven't really used an impact wrench before this, but boy is it nice. Alright, that's one down. Okay, the fuel tank is now supported by just 1 bolt, the car jack, and the fuel filler hose, which has already been loosened. So, I'm going to prepare the jack, get ready to disconnect the hose once it's down, and take out that last bolt. So after some struggle getting the fuel filler hose off, I'm just going to take off the whole fuel filler neck. It looks like it's only 3 screws, and I was going to take it off and do some rust treatment anyway. You come out of here. The fuel tank straps were pretty easy to clean and paint. The fuel filler neck, on the other hand, was way too thin and rusty. Given that a replacement was $30, it's important to know what to salvage and what's definitely not worth saving. All right, under the truck, now with the fuel tank out. These are the top straps for the fuel tank, so this is where it would be. It's actually pretty roomy with it out. I don't even have the truck lifted on jack stands at the moment, which is nice, you know, a little reassuring. These are the fuel hoses. There's no pressure, no fuel left in them, and I've gone ahead and sealed them off just for good measure. Pretty much everything from about here forward for the entire truck has been pretty well rust proofed and doesn't seem to be hurt, so time to get cleaning. You know I'm trying to work under there, right? Bro, are you a groundhog or an otter? Oh, I'm sorry. Alright, we've got the old fuel pump and assembly out. Clearly it's seen better days. And we've got the new assembly and replacement fuel pump here, as well as everything that came between these two kits. So initially I was debating buying a pre-built pump assembly combo. Would, you know, save a little bit of hassle, just make sure everything is assembled. That would have been around $150, whereas the assembly separately was $50 and the pump $20. So I think for savings of, what's that, $80, we can make this work pretty easily. So for starters, we've got the pump. We'll just remove these covers that were on during shipping to keep any loose material out. And we've got the bottom here. We're going to put on the isolator. I am not sure why they included two separate, extremely similar ones, but we'll just see which one fits better. They look pretty identical. That fits fine. And that fits just a little more snugly. I think let's go with that. So we've got the isolator on there. Actually, we can just go ahead and slip this in the assembly down here. I think that'll be a little easier. We've got a piece of hose of a matching length to the one on here. I'm going to go ahead and fit that onto the fuel pump. Get that on good. And then fit that onto the assembly. And it would probably be smart to put the hose clamps on first. Let's see, let's put them this way. Make it a little, yeah, that'll make it easiest to screw on then. Planning ahead. We're gonna fit that hose on here. And with that, perfect. We can fit it into the base down here. I should pull that out just a hair to snug it up on the bottom. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Go ahead and put this in. That looks good. And last but not least, we've got the filter. This was the one that it came with. This was an aftermarket one for another $1.50. It's got a little more surface area. Matches the original one, and I think that will be for the best. Just squeeze it on here, it looks like. Alright. That's on there. And yeah, all around looks like a perfect match. Don't need the extra one of that. It did come with a spare bit of tubing, and this wiring looks like it might be to fit the fuel pump up with different assemblies that might not have the same clip already on them. That was well worth saving the $80. That was an easy enough job, and I feel good knowing how it all works.
From such great heights, come down now, they'll say. Everything looks perfect from far away. Come down now, but we'll stay. And I tried my best to leave this all-on-you machine, but the persistent beat, it sounded thin upon listening, and that frankly will not fly. You will hear the shrillest highs and lowest lows with the windows down when this is guiding you home. They will see us waving from such...
Alright, this is the first time starting her up since replacing the fuel tank, fuel pump, fuel filler, all that jazz. And I'm a little nervous given it's the first time doing all that. But it looks like we have 12.6 volts of power, so she should start up. And a fire extinguisher, because trust no one, least of all yourself. I don't hear the fuel pump, but I don't not hear it. Okay. I also put only about 3 gallons of fuel in, so it's barely budged there. That could be our problem. Hey!
That's all we've got for now. Leave a nice comment if you want to see a follow-up video at some point, or leave a mean comment if you don't have a nice comment. Okay, bye.